Prior to this game, Oran were third, and the further, extended.
Yeah, there was a bit of a fan drama in that game involving Itu and Oran at the Uyo Township Stadium. I saw some clips of fans being escorted out of the stadium because they were trying to perpetrate drama, some level of violence and all of that. But
the last game saw Orowanam defeating Ika by 1-0. So those were
Ika defeated Ine by 5-1 as well.
Yes, I said it.
That's an interesting conversation. All right, so, the game between Itu and Oran was also delayed by the rain initially.
We hear it's Mekbano Obodokara game. It's
scheduled for tomorrow. Yeah, by 4 p.m. Nigerian time. But it's done and dusted. UT, two local government areas have already qualified for the next round of the competition. And, of course, it's Obodokara. And now Obodokara sits top of your senatorial district. And, of course, have showed a lot of class and quality. Or now sits top of the Kate senatorial district, and that has been the story so far for them. But you have to give credit to these two local government areas have shown a lot of class and quality, and I think they're unbeaten.
Especially for Obodokara, I think they've been quite phenomenal in this tournament.
Okay, Ona have lost twice.
Ona have lost. I'm looking at Obodokara.
No losses
for them.
Yeah,
it shows you they have been dominating the Ikot senatorial districts basically. They have been quite dominant. I was expecting Ikot to do some, but it hasn't really been the case for them. And Obodokara, yes, one of the first teams to qualify.
So with this performance, right? Because I'm trying to place this side by side with the NPFL abridged version and then the Super 6, right? Some teams do so well at the abridged version, the league format, and then when it gets to the Super 6, the playoffs, they do not do so well. So with the kind of performances Obodokara puts up so far, you think they can maintain all of this energy to the Super 12 and maybe win the competition?
Absolutely. I think it's about momentum, and they've actually got it. I'm asking 20 points, particularly in this...
six wins and two draws.
Wins. I mean, I haven't really seen any team getting 20 points already after yesterday's round of games, and it certainly shows the consistency and the momentum of Obodokara after 8 matches played so far. So it's quite a thing of concern basically for all the teams as well, particularly for the likes of Ikot and Senudum and other senatorial district likes of Nsurubium, who are in your senatorial district, and Uruan who have got to the result today. Beg for pardon. So I think it's a concern moving forward, and we may just likely see other teams do a lot better.
All right. I told you not to eat for ahead. 8-4. That's your. And as the days go by, trust us that will take you through the stories as they come in from the Akwa Ibom State Governors Cup. It's our own version of the World Cup. So come on, we have to talk about it as much as possible, right? So some more exciting stories, this time around from a lady. It's about Super Falcons goalkeeper Chiamaka Nnadozie. She proved her mettle once again yesterday for Paris FC in the game. Well, for those of us watching live, the man that walked in is not the DSS operative. He's blind and okay. Forget the black suit. Don't be scared. He's blind and okay. Nnadozie saved the crucial penalty. And of course, as Paris FC defeated Wolfsburg by 2 goals on Wednesday night. And of course, she helped her team reach the group stage of the CAF Women's Champions League group stages, particularly for the first time in a decade. Ahead of kickoff, Wolfsburg, 2-time winners of the competition, held the advantage after forcing Paris FC to a 3-0 draw at Paris 7 days ago. A win of any manner at the Aoki Stadium in Wolfsburg would have sealed the group stage spot for the German Bundesliga champions of 7 times. And it seems the only possible outcome for Paris FC is that they don't get to lose a game yesterday. And of course, Chiamaka Nnadozie showed class and quality, saved the penalty at some point to help a team to the victory. And Paris FC won 5-3 on aggregate and advantage. For a goalkeeper, the Super Falcons have got somebody so solid. Chiamaka Nnadozie started football life in Nigeria, but her rise and progression has been so remarkable, and she's going to play in the Champions League for the first time in her career next season, or this season rather.
I think she has been quite incredible. Basically, shows you the good reflexes of the lady, Chiamaka Nnadozie. And then we saw a glimpse of brilliance, particularly in the just concluded FIFA Women's World Cup with the Super Falcons of Nigeria. And even prior to that, to the FIFA World Cup, she was absolutely excellent for Paris. I could recall saving, I think, 2 penalties in the domestic league rather in the French, women's league. It certainly shows you the commanding figure she's had. I think the Super Falcons for a very long time haven't really had concerns and problems as it has to do with the goalkeeping department. It has been the case, the opposite direction rather, for the Super Eagles. And I'm also glad that she has actually progressed with her team to the UEFA Women's Champions League. So she will actually do a lot better. Don't forget, we also have, I think, the qualifiers right here, the Olympic qualifiers with the Super Falcons.
Yeah.
So she's also expected to be back with the national team and do a lot better moving forward. Her quality has never been in doubt, and I'm, of course, excited that she's also progressing with the team as well.
All right, so let's look at the teams who've qualified for these season's UEFA Women's Champions League. It's quite a story. Well, it's quite beautiful. Pot A has Barcelona, Lyon, Bayern Munich, and Chelsea. Pot B has PSG, Slavia Prague, Real Madrid, and Rosengard. Pot 3 rather has Bolton, Benfica, who has a Nigerian as well in Crystal Chebe, by the way, Haken of Sweden, and Roma of Italy. Pot 4 has Ajax, Paris FC, Eintracht Frankfurt, and Brandt. By the way, PSG defeated Manchester United women yesterday, 3 goals to 1 to qualify for the next round of the competition. Well, Blyden, it's a beautiful story for the ladies, the UEFA Women's Champions League. It's a 16-team competition this time. And for the first time in a long time, we're not seeing Wolfsburg here because Paris FC pushed them out of the competition, and that team has Chiamaka Nnadozie. This is the first time they're in this competition in 10 years. Yeah. What are you expecting from them?
Fascinating time for me, I must say, especially for the Nigerians participating. Also Benfica and the Cherby doing quite well. Chiamaka, fantastic goalkeeper. We've seen from the Nations Cup to the World Cup, El Magnifico, I must say. I only wish she was a man. We had Chiamaka and a vision in a man to be the goalkeeper for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, because it's been a big concern. But I think a team that's beaten Wolfsburg at the competition and qualified ahead of them will always get to expect more from them in show class. It's been a conversation. 10 years is a span of time, but decent side. I think they can create shockers at this competition, the UEFA Women's Champions League, and many other teams have to be careful of them, because you look at records of Wolfsburg for me, a 7 times champion in Germany. You're talking about the UEFA Women's Champions League champions 2 times, and last season they got to the finals, lost to beaten Arsenal women out of that competition at the semi-finals, got to the finals where they lost to Barcelona women. So you want to talk about Paris FC beating the second best team in Europe last season.
Definitely.
That's the conversation, and fantastic. And also talking about Crystal Chebe for me, Benfica. She's been a lady that's adding up the number every single time. In recent times, she broke a record of number of games and played up to 100 games for Benfica, and she was given an award for doing that. And now we've seen her performing high level performance. Got the fourth goal against Apollon in this one, and it's marvelous. And you look at the aggregate score for them. Total aggregate has been 11-0,
right.
1-4-0, and beating a Poland side, and it's basically what it is, and it makes sense for me.
Right.
Moving forward, Benfica I'm looking forward to, and I'm quite interested in the Women's Champions League now.
Thank you very much. Leave that, please, Abuki. Yesterday, the former Villarreal winger was in action for the Super Eagles in their 2-2 draw against Saudi Arabia last week Friday, but missed Monday's 3-2 win over Mozambique due to this particular injury. The man is back in Milanello, and he's set to undergo treatment to, of course, get himself back on track. Well, he's set to miss Milan's games against Juventus, PSG in the Champions League, and Napoli in the Serie A as well. And that's the story. There's also a possibility that he's going to be back before the next international break when Nigeria faces Lesotho and Zimbabwe. But UT, this is a thing of concern, and that's due to the fact that even at Napoli, very fit, has struggled to get minutes. at AC Milan so far, not Napoli rather, at AC Milan so far. Now, he's out injured 4 weeks. Now, what does he look like? What's fate looking like for this man if he gets to return to full fitness in 4 weeks' time?
I think it's quite concerning for Samuel Chukwueze because moving to AC Milan, we haven't really seen him stamp on authority in terms of playing quite regularly for, Stefano Pioli's AC Milan side. I watched him in the UEFA Champions League against Tottenham Hotspur in the first game. I think he had a couple of goal-scoring chances, but couldn't just score. I think his struggles has been, basically about, finding the back of the net since moving to AC Milan. And when we actually thought he would actually improve on that, then we're talking about injury with the man during the international break. Well, it's quite, concerning because basically when you're out injured, particularly a new player coming to a side, still trying to, find your footing, and you're injured, basically when you return, it will be quite difficult because you also have other players who are also competing for that particular sport. We're talking likes of Christian Pulisic, so you may just likely be behind the pack in order. So I just wish it shouldn't be the same case for Samuel Chukwueze, return back in form, right, and also firing across all cylinders. No. Also, we may just likely see him struggle under Stefano Pioli, but I think the future is actually bright for him. I'm just wishing him speedy recovery, back to the team, and then score goals as well.
Some weeks ago, Blyden, I asked you about this man's performance so far. His stay at Milan. He barely gets playing time with the club and all of that. And actually, if it wasn't concerning, you said it wasn't concerning, that it's a gradual thing. He's going to get himself, to the team and get a berth. But in your struggle to get in a starting berth, you're getting injured. Not good, right?
Yeah, not very good, but I'm quite happy it's not a big injury, not very difficult.
Yeah, well, 4 weeks. 4 weeks
hamstring is something I know. Hamstring, it takes you about 1 month thereabout to recover
4 weeks,
if you're treated well and taking care of yourself. But I look at Chukwueze. When he said Chukwueze has not really done quite well early time, I disagree with that. Last game Milan played before the international break, he started for them. He started one of those Champions League, started some games. We have to look at Milan side competition. That game, Rafael Loa was on the bench, so it's been a rotation for the coach and these players. But I think AC Milan has done something good for him. When I watch him, he looks sharper. He wants to perform, high-level performance. And that's what you get when there's high level of competition at this point at the club, because, you do not perform, another person takes your place and gets to perform. The only concern now is he has to come back recuperating while others are hitting the ground running.
Exactly.
Christian Pulisic scored over the international break against Ghana. So something to pick forward to. And many would look at him and say, probably Christian is in form now and let's give him the notch ahead. But I think he'll recover. Many games to play over the season. He's a top performer, still young for me. He can dribble. What's left, as UT talked about, is basically this: just laying the final pass for the goals to come, and his teammates trusting him even more. But when I watch this man, Samuel Chukwueze, he looks pretty sharp, and I hope that he continues in that magnitude of performance.
9 appearances so far for AC Milan, 7 in the Serie A, 2 in the Champions League, no goals scored, no assists given. Well, football is a game of numbers right now, Blyden. So at this point, he has to rack in the numbers.
Yeah, I think he'll get there. We watched the Champions League. We saw Rafael Loa could have given him a pass. He could have finished it. Never really happened. It's basically what adaptation process and your teammates getting to understand your style of play, and you also understanding that style of play, and a coach also seeing how best to use you in the team. But I love the fact that he's still playing the way he played at Villarreal, drifting backward, helping them defensively and moving forward. That's it for me. But I think the numbers will begin to come. It always starts with one moment. We talked about Chukwueze at Villarreal the same way after he had that long-term injury and returned, and it was a slow start for him. The last season before AC Milan came, racked up the numbers with ease. Remember the big moment for him at the Champions League, scoring against Bayern Munich, knocking Bayern Munich out of the competition. And that's the Chukwueze we want to see, and we know. I think he can find that path again.
All right, so talking about finding a path, this is going to interest you, UT. Premier League club Newcastle are reportedly considering a move to get Victor Boniface already. Boniface joined Bundesliga giants Leverkusen from Union for 12 million euros just this summer. The well-built striker has caught the eye, scoring 9 times and providing 3 assists in 10 games for Leverkusen so far. According to The Sun, Newcastle's scout watched him play in Portugal for Nigeria in the friendly against Saudi Arabia last weekend. We hope he performed well. Oh, God. 22-year-old didn't score, but was handful for the Saudis, causing problems for the back line. Eddie Howe is looking to adding some physicality to his front line, and he sees Boniface as a top target that complements the likes of Isak and Callum Wilson. UT, Boniface to Newcastle, discuss.
I think it's an excellent move, basically. But then I'm not looking at it to happen anytime soon. When it has to do with the Generations Far window, it will be quite too soon for him to move to the English Premier League. Basically, it can't just happen when the season is over during the summer, and that would be quite an interesting move, not breaking Bayer Leverkusen stretch at this particular time. The man has been quite brilliant moving to, Germany, and there were many question marks whether or not he can actually fit in on the Xabi Alonso. But his strikers are doing quite well. You also try to, you're inviting, other scouts from other club sites, and that's not a different story with Victor Boniface rather. We also saw it with Victor Osimhen, and that has always been the case for them. But moving away from Bayer Leverkusen at this time would be quite too soon. At least let's wait till the end of the season.
Now, Blyden, looking at the strikers, the attacking options at AC Milan, Newcastle rather, right now, Isak Alexander, fine player, but injury prone. Callum Wilson, fine player as well, but not reliable as much as possible. Well, you think Victor Boniface doesn't get there and walks straight into that 11?
Well, I think Premier League is quite fast compared to the Bundesliga. But on the other hand, the man spoke about himself, said he's surprised at himself the way he's playing at the Bundesliga, scoring this number of goals. Because when you look at Union Senegalese moving to Bundesliga, quite a gap, but he's really shown class. But Premier League can be quite tough for him. I must say, brings lots of physicality, lots of running. I'd love him to finish probably at least one season at Bundesliga with Bayer Leverkusen. Let's see how it pans out. But I know he's one for the future. He gets to Newcastle, he might just get to play.
What are qualities of his game, Blyden, that you think he needs to improve to be able to be suitable for the Premier League?
Well, it's just basically for me just arriving in the mainstream of Europe for the first time, first season. It's barely played over 15 games, so you need lots of experience to play in the English Premier League. We saw the likes of Ahmed Musa switch camp, despite scoring lots of goals for Nigeria and scoring at the World Cup. Came to Leicester City, never really worked out for him. We've seen lots of Nigeria change that camp, Nigerian players change that camp, never really worked out for him. Taiwo, when he was quite decent for his former club, came to the Premier League first season, had a slow season. He's beginning to pick up in the second season, so he doesn't need a slow momentum for me. I think if he stays one full season at Germany, he might be fully ready and move to Newcastle. Yes, the options up front aren't that many for me at Newcastle, because you look at opportunities. Isak, similar kind of player, and the structure of the way Newcastle play, they don't really care about that point attacker for you. Everybody's running, midfielders are running, everyone is chasing the ball, and this man is huge, big. He can play football with the feet and he can score with the head. That's the beauty of Victor Boniface. Can he manifest at Newcastle? Only time will tell, but he's a fantastic striker.
Let's manifest your calls. 090-2223-1011 and 0817-624-8565. Is Victor Boniface not good enough for the Premier League yet? Leaving January or wait till the end of the season? Let's get your thoughts in on that. Alright, so we'll just glide into Europe and talk about stories from there quickly. Well, we'll start with Man United and the drama thereof. Well, Borussia Dortmund, we here are ready to offer Jadon Sancho an escape route from United in January, a source has told newsmen. Well, Dortmund have publicly denied their interest in signing their former player since his fallout with United manager Erik ten Hag. But a source has told ESPN that the German side will be interested in a general move for the man if the financial parameters are right. A short-term loan until the end of the season is most likely, although Dortmund would still need United to pay part of Sancho's £300,000 a week wage. He's just 23, spent 4 years at Dortmund, 2017 to 2021, joined Man United, and it's been a story. Well, United are ready to let the man go because they want to back Ten Hag and his strong stance on club discipline. Well, Sancho, he said he's not going to apologize, and that's been the story. Well, UT, Borussia Dortmund, as the newsmen call it, an escape route.
It should be an escape route, but I'm also looking at other clubs who would really come to, sign Jadon Sancho from Manchester United. I don't think any other bigger club would come aside from Borussia Dortmund, because you look at the salary structure at United, and then you also look at, of course, other teams and the salary basis.
You get
£300,000 a week.
£300,000 a week.
Come on. I mean, no club would actually do that for you. Even Manchester City won't pay Jadon Sancho a humongous amount of money. So I think the best way out for him, rather, should be moving away to Borussia Dortmund. But if he goes to Borussia Dortmund, they have to share the wages and pay. A similar situation with Anthony Martial when he left for Sevilla, and that was a story. Even up to this time, no other club have actually come to, sign Anthony Martial despite 1 year left in his contract. So I think United's biggest problem has always been the salary structure. When you have a player who's out of favor, it's quite easy for other teams to shuffle them out. But for Manchester United, it's always very difficult.
If he leaves to Dortmund, who wins, Blyden United or Sancho?
Well, everyone gets to win. That's it.
Everyone, there's a winner in that situation.
I think it's fair win-win situation for all of them. Because you look at Manchester United now, the biggest concern for them, before I even talk about it, which what David did mention about Manchester United's salary structure, I think the reason is one bacon to ask this question now. When these players get to come to Manchester United, they tax for decent footballers at young age. Anthony Martial, no wonder they added the band or contract clause in his contract. And that's it because they saw potentials in the young man. He's not live up to that. At Manchester United, it's not working. So on one hand, it would be the pressure that comes with the club and the quality of footballer. Jadon Sancho also. We saw at Borussia Dortmund, fantastic footballer. Yeah. Moved to Manchester United, totally different kind of player, I must say, at this point. So for me, talking about a win-win situation, it is because Manchester United right now, they're set to pay a player £300,000 who's not doing anything on the club at the moment. So you have to let him go on.
No, they're still going to pay half, at least.
Well,
they have to pay.
Better than a full-blown amount of money. And I look at Borussia Dortmund, decent side for the man, Jadon Sancho.
Right.
He's been there before, done quite well at the club. And at this point, you need to rejuvenate your career. And where else to go to? Where you're accepted, where you're treated as a king. And that's Borussia Dortmund for him.
Should go
a club
higher.
that is good. A club that is good for raising
development
young
of youngsters. All right.
And that's it for
All right. Welcome, big man, to the show.
Oh, good afternoon, Amaris. Good afternoon, Blyden, and good afternoon, UT.
Yeah, welcome. How you doing, by the way?
Well, I'm fine.
How's this school in your area?
Well, I think...
Go ahead.
The fun is
Just go ahead.
You guys talked about Boniface.
Right.
And it's a very interesting conversation. It woke me up from my sleep. But the problem with... I won't really call it a problem. But the thing about Nigerians, I don't know what this obsession with the Premier League. All right, it seems like Nigerians will abandon their own developmental process, and then immediately the Premier League Cup comes, they jump ship. And we know the Premier League is a very unforgiving league, and even becomes very unforgiving when you are a striker. And these days, we don't really see clubs being patient with strikers in the Premier League.
Right. So my
advice for Victor Boniface is stay at Leverkusen for 2 years. Become the hit man. Grow the aspects of your game that you need to grow.
All right, that's the next question, Lucas. What are the aspects of his game that he needs to grow?
Well, first of all, you look at the system that Alonso employs. You understand the system that Alonso brings in. I think Alonso uses him mostly like a poacher. All you need to do to be a good poacher is stay around, all right, lead the line,
get into those spaces and score those goals.
Yeah. All right, we saw that against Saudi Arabia. I think he actually played like a second striker where he was trying to feed Victor Osimhen, and it made sense. For me, I think the only thing Boniface needs physicality, all right, because the Premier League, come on. And second of all, you're not going to get the spaces that you have in the Bundesliga in the Premier League. Good enough, he knows how to position, but he will need speed. I don't know whether he can improve on that, because being a poacher and being maybe changing to an advanced striker or advanced forward could be a little bit difficult. You need pace. In the Premier League, you need to be involved in build-ups. I barely see strikers stay alone these days in the Premier League. So he needs to grow these aspects of his game. If he goes to and come on, Newcastle, you look at the system that Bayer Leverkusen play and look at the system that Newcastle play, it's a complete opposite. If he wants to move, he must ask himself, will I fit into the Newcastle model? All right, that's why we have Jackson struggling. That's why we got Darwin Núñez struggling, and any other striker who make the switch struggling. For me, I wish him all the best. Stay at Bayer Leverkusen, improve 2-3 years.
Right.
Come on. You will get a better deal than Newcastle.
Thank you.
Banish this talk of England at this particular point.
Thank you very much.
I agree with him.
For talking to us. Right, Ladi, you want to say something?
I agree with him. That's his fascination about English Premier League. And
Yeah.
when you look at over the years, the best players in the world, since Cristiano Ronaldo, I can't remember any before Cristiano Ronaldo and after Cristiano Ronaldo who's become the best player in the world from the English Premier League. I understand how fascinating the league could be.
So why do you talk of the Premier League every time?
Yeah, fans back home are interesting, quite glamorous league, I must say. The pace of the ball, everything in there. But you can also be such a big footballer in other leagues. That's why I see Serie A is so good for Nigerians. They're playing so well, and sadly, most of them want to move to the Premier League.
No, but now UT basically talking the Premier League right now. What if this is just a case of proper media representation?
That's just the case for the Premier League and the hype surrounding it as well. The quality of the league, basically,
because
not in doubt.
you want to talk about the league that you can easily access anywhere.
It's the Premier League.
It's the Premier League.
Anywhere in the world is the Premier League. So I can understand the fascinating, urge to go to the English Premier League. But then, certainly you can expect every single player to go there to the Premier League and become so established.
I'll also agree more money in the Premier League.
Yeah, but that's because they're out there.
They're out there.
Mm-hmm.
So what if there's other leagues who have obviously produced top players over time gets to put themselves out there as well? Maybe that's the only thing making the Premier League look like it's larger than life.
Well, I think also it's English. So you look at the followership of England, English commentary, English followership. It's something. They have the biggest of medias you could think of.
Yeah, well,
not the French, not the...
Was in Spanish games in English commentary lately?
Yeah, we're seeing.
Serie A games, English commentary.
I agree, but it's a mixed brand. There's something called original. Come on, you can take it away, Mari.
All right. Good afternoon, Victor, the Sports Oracle. Welcome to the show. You check Facebook for us, please. 090 1011 and 0817 624 8565. Mr. Easy on the line. Great to have you. Join the conversation.
Yeah, thank you very much, sport analyst. I want to first of all congratulate you for this. And I very quickly went to the comment about Victor Osimhen making a big impact in the Premiership. Our Premiership is not easy for every player to come and flourish. I think it should remain in Italy where football is set in that very league and make a name for himself. It's for him to come to the Premier League and kill his career. Please, you should remain there and be followed. That's my third. Thank you.
Thank you very much for talking to us. There's some basketballs going down in the comment section of our live feed. I'm checking them out right now, and it's very funny. Take calls in before we look at the drama going down on the live feed. Oh, Victor, please. It's quite noisy where you are. Please just take some space out and call me back. Thank you so much. Good afternoon. Welcome to the show. Welcome. Name and location. Yes.
Yeah, the youth from I want to say that Victor Boniface will fit very well at Newcastle United. Especially with the problems that Tonali is having now, I think Victor Boniface is the perfect. No matter how you tell me that Newcastle to me it's not a big club, it's an average club, no matter their qualification for champions. So I think Victor Boniface will best suit this. But as for Chelsea, Arsenal, people will be surprised. Many tickets will be cut, but Chelsea are winning that match.
All right. Thank you very much for talking to us. Well, tomorrow we'll talk about the Premier League and, of course, the games expected. It's going to be quite an interesting weekend, particularly in London. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
Hello, good afternoon, Mary.
All right.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, Victor Boniface is a very good striker player. So our options remain at Bayer Leverkusen because coming out to Premier League, we've seen a lot of strikers coming to Premier League as well. And if you want to look at it, it's a black player. And I will not tell you to go to Manchester United or maybe Arsenal because I know they won't play him the way they're supposed to. Because he's an African player. So I think to remain at Bayer Leverkusen, develop his build-up. She should be involved in more build-up play because if you don't involve in more build-up play, strikers you don't need to stand as a standard line. You have to come down and to contribute in the build-up.
Right.
You should develop in that aspect and remain in Leverkusen. The next 3 years before he switches 24, 25, he can consider I'm moving to another club. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. I love that that position. Thank you so much. UT, the live feed, you have comments there?
Okay, from the live feed, I begin with Joseph Eden. He says, I miss you guys. I will miss you too. Yubi Akang says, good afternoon, football fans. Paul Mason on Mikhailo Modric says, Mikhailo Modric is the name that comes up when these two teams meet because of a transfer saga to sign him. He's a young kid who has come over from a country where there is a war going on. You have to take this into consideration when judging his football. Okay, Yubi Akang says, good afternoon, football fans. I think that's the news we've said already. Neymar is out due to the ACL injury. Moshi Chidi Edeji says, good afternoon, gentlemen. Please, can we replace Francis Uzoho and Maduka Okoye with Chiamaka Nadoze in the Super Eagles? She's been in a fine form, which is a plus to her and the country. Sadly, we can't say same for our male counterparts.
We cannot replace Nadoze. Hello.
Good afternoon, my uncle.
Welcome, Micah.
Thank you. How are you doing, my uncle,
I'm so fine. Thank you so much. How about you, Micah?
Okay, I'm good. Thank you.
Just go ahead, Micah.
I want to talk about the Super Falcons. I want to say that the next game they should win about the Olympic Games. They should win. Thank you, my uncle.
Thank you so much for talking to us this particular afternoon. Well, moving on to other stories, by the way, the numbers to call and be a part of the conversation remain 090-2223-1011. You can also call 0817-624-8565. Good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon, Mary.
Welcome.
I'm Better Basi there.
Welcome, Better Basi.
The ongoing Governor Cup in the state really piques my interest. I celebrate Onan, Oburoka. Having been able to qualify for the next round is definitely something to celebrate. However, my local government is not much of a strong side. They should be the back fish and start getting the numbers.
Which is your local government area?
Now it's in Citizen.
Oh, okay.
So I'm particularly concerned about their performance so far. Now, I think Aqua United should use this opportunity to come and discover promising talent as their performance really has left much to be desired. Thank you.
Thank you so much for talking to us this particular afternoon. Yes.
Yeah, calling back.
Welcome. 25 seconds is time.
Yeah. Okay, I know. Mary, let me congratulate the local government that they well in the Governor's Cup. But for my local government, though, they sit 0.0 win from all the places I've played.
Which is? Which 18 and?
18 and.
What's happened now?
Because the guy now as your number 9, so that's why it's supposed to be.
Did you go for the training and the screening sessions?
I did not.
Say you don't see. You say they did not carry you. Don't come to your house and come and carry you.
Mary, please, let me say something about the Super Eagles. You cannot cure madness with drunkenness. And if you don't deal with your problem will deal with you. After the match against Saudi Arabia, we came out to ask Nigeria why we complain about the goalkeeper and we don't complain about the strikers. But after the match against Mozambique, we came out to, he was angry, giving his press conference about the result. Now I asked him, I think the question we asked Nigeria why we complain, I think we got the answer to that question in the game against Mozambique because of what the fans used to hold it. But if he doesn't ask what it, we Nigeria or I as in Nigeria, I will keep complaining and complain until the right thing is done. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you very much for talking to us. Now, Blighted, did you know that you don't cure madness with drunkenness?
I just learned that.
I just learned that as well. That's okay. Good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Mario. Thank you to the other people in the house. My name is Udwa calling from the
Welcome, Udwa.
my brother, I think Governor's Cup has really opened the eyes of the citizens to know the right players that the boys that know how to play. I'm pleading with Kwa United and Dakar United to count out good players from competition. Even though my local government is not performing well.
Which is
okay. The problem we are having in Idesipo is they are not bringing boys to play ball. They are bringing men, grown-up men, old men with grey hairs. So how will you use Papa to win balls when they are playing with children? See, when they are playing with young men, they will deal with you because they have the strength, they have everything. They are playing with my local government leaders, those people that are in charge. When we want to have next match, next tournament, I'm pleading with them. They didn't bring these old men again. We need young boys. Thank you, Azumi.
Thank you very much. I thought they said experience is the best teacher. So let's travel to stories from there. Well, Man City midfielder Calvin Phillips says he will make a decision on his future at the club. Phillips has struggled to break into the City team since signing from Leeds United, making just 3 appearances in the Premier League this season after starting for England in Tuesday's 3-1 win against Italy. Well, the man says he is going to make a decision. He's had a lack of game time at club level since his £45 million move in July 2022. He's 27, has retained the fate of Gareth Southgate at the English national team level. But, UT, one begs the question, why hasn't he been able to get into the City 11? Now, we saw his performance at Leeds United. He was a key player for the Marcelo Bielsa-led side as then. Then when he signed for City, there was so much hope and promise. What has been the bane in this man's quest to get starting Beth at City?
I think it's about ambition and quality. We'll be separating both sides. At Leeds United,
ambition and quality.
Absolutely. You can compare Manchester City, ambition, and what we saw at Leeds United. At Leeds United, it was more like, of course, the man that everyone wants to build a team around. We saw it particularly when we had Marcelo Bielsa in the team as well. About 2-3 seasons in the English Championship before moving to the English Premier League. He was a key man rather in midfield for, Leeds United. So at some point, even when we saw the likes of Rafinha and the rest of them joining up with the side, it was about Calvin Phillips. I'm moving to Manchester City. The expectations actually changed because if you move to a Pep Guardiola setup, you must be able to fit into the demands of Pep Guardiola, and that has been the biggest struggles of Calvin Phillips since moving to Manchester City. Pep has talked about being overweight since making that move to City, and it's also concerning. And he has also talked about fitting into the dynamics of a team, which has also been the case. He was there before Rodri, but we've seen Rodri flourishing as well.
Rodri's been there before him.
Roger has been there before Calvin Phillips?
Yes, Roger's been there before him.
Okay, but he still struggled as well. But basically, we haven't really seen players who Pep Guardiola has actually signed that has not flourished. So I think the case of Calvin Phillips have been quite different, and it's so unfortunate for him. But away from that now, I also understand he wants to play in the Euro next year, and he can stay at the bench and be caught up by Gareth Southgate. So the best option for him is to move away from Manchester City and find regular first-team football. No, the competition.
Now, Blyden, 5 starts in 2 seasons since joining Man City. That's not the kind of number for a player, who was top for Leeds United too. I mean, the question is, why hasn't he just been able to impress Pep? Even in days when Rodri is out, like he was before the international break, Pep preferred to play Bernardo Silva there over a Calvin Phillips whose natural position is that position.
So, who do we put it on now?
That's the question.
Because we make it sound like, he's not been able to impress Pep.
But what put it on? That's the question.
That's the question, Mari. I put on Pep. Pep, look, I saw Nathan Ake at the club. Nathan Ake was basically a small player. He couldn't even start for Chelsea. And moved to Manchester City, given opportunity.
Moved to Bournemouth first.
Given opportunity to play, and guess what's happened? Over time, he's developed. He's such a fine defender. I think it's the same story with Calvin Phillips. Difference is probably Pep doesn't like his style of play.
And he signed him.
It typically happens. Come on. A coach gets to sign a player, gets a player. I can understand it's quite difficult for him, especially coming off injured. Joining Manchester City and having that shoulder injury, he kept him out for a while. Probably if he had joined the team at the time and started playing, maybe it could have been a different story. But now it's not. And we have Rodri. And for me, this is how I said, it's not just about the quality. I know he's a fine footballer. I watched him at the previous Euros. decent footballer. I watch him at Leeds United, decent footballer. The problem is he's not having opportunity. And when you say he's not really adapting to the dynamics of the game, for me to adapt, you have to give me opportunity. It's football.
So why is Pep not giving him an opportunity?
I'm basically up to Pep to answer.
Pep has preferred to play Rico Lewis, youngsters.
He played John Stones as a defensive
John Stones
midfielder.
there.
It's on the manager. That's
Right.
it.
Oh, well, so what?
Pep did say, in his words, maybe he can get the best out of him. But I think the right thing to say is maybe he doesn't feel so suitable to fit into that system.
The way forward for Calvin Phillips right now?
It's to move to another club.
should leave.
Get to another club, play football. He's still a young lad. The problem
27,
about
Blighting, 27, 3 years to 30.
Yeah, come on. If he were playing, we wouldn't be saying 27 now. The reason we're saying it is he's not been playing.
No, you
football.
called him a young lad. That's
okay,
why.
I understand too. 27, never had that number right. But basically what it is, Mari, get to play football at another club.
All right. Melody.
Good afternoon, Ivana. Good afternoon, Yuki and Larry. Yeah, it's Melody calling in.
Welcome, Melody.
Concerning Calvin Phillips, I think Calvin Phillips' problem is it's not that he's a bad player. It's just that we doesn't trust him enough. And then Giordano has a certain Rodri Hernandez who is performing at a very top level. Rodri Hernandez and the touch of Fichabuski and Xavi. So that is having them at that position. And once they do not play a two double pivot midfield system that he would have played in with Calvin Phillips and Rodri. Giordano is not like that player. So that's why Calvin Phillips is having problems. But with time, you come and remember that when he came to Man City, he didn't hit the ground running. He struggled, Grealish, another player. So the first season,
Melody, it's been 2 seasons now, and it doesn't look like things are going to get better for him.
This is the second season now. This is the second season. Season of the first season. So this is the time, and with Rodri having injury now, more load on Rodri, he will come Calvin Phillips will adapt.
All right.
Then about Mr. Boniface, I think he is staying dialogue and challenge. We make them challenge for the league. Then we have them challenge for the league, and then maybe the next season we go to Champions League because if he stays there and perform very well, he will even have a chance to win the contest for the African footballer and come into the Premiership and stay on the bench. Thank you.
Thank you so much for talking to us this afternoon, Melody on the line. Well, UEFA has said that the result in Sweden, which was abandoned this week, 2 fans were killed, will stand, right? So the game was called off at halftime with the score 1-1, and we hear that there's not going to be replay, that's going to be the final score. Hello.
Hello, Manchester.
This is Marizona. This is Planet Radio 101.1 FM.
Good evening, sir.
Welcome. Go ahead.
This is the first time I call you people.
Your name and location.
My name is Saganimo. I come from Senegal.
Welcome, Akanimo from Isienudum.
Yes. This is whether Rhys James to come back from injury.
Rhys James.
Yes.
Well, he has begun light training with you.
Okay, we play with Arsenal on Saturday.
Well, there's no confirmation yet, but he's begun training with Chelsea.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much for talking to us. Well, it's not yet over for Barca because if there's a club has been in the news for the very wrong reasons, it's Barcelona lately. Well, the president, Juan Laporta, says he remains calm despite being personally charged with suspected bribery over the refereeing scandal engulfing the Catalan club this week. Laporta, who's 61, was added to the probe into payments worth over 7 million euros made to companies linked to the former vice president of the refereeing committee, Jose Maria Enrique Negreira, between 2001 and 2018. Wow. Well, it's a story. The man says he's a lawyer and he's calm about that. Prosecutors first filed a complaint over the payments in March, with the investigative judge adding bribery to the list of charges in September. Barca, as a club, ex-president Sandro Rosell and Josep Maria Bartomeu, former executives Oscar Grau and Albert Soya and Negreira and his son were named as defendants, but not Laporta, and it's a continuing conversation. Well, when you're in the news for issues around match manipulation, it's very, very funny. 09022231011 and 0817-624-8565. How does this affect the image of Barcelona as a football club, Leiden?
Mari, it first starts with being confident. Remember Rubiales? He said, "Oh, nothing. I'm in cash." Until it gets critical, he said, "Oh, I'm going to resign." I think that's the part now.
The one says, "Scam, why you making this man feel crazy?" Sometimes confidence is just shameless boldness, right?
Yeah.
Definitely. 0902223 and 0817-624-8565. Victor, I hope you're in a calmer place. Good afternoon, Victor.
Good afternoon, Clarence and your kids. It's going to be a great weekend, man. There are so many options to look at this weekend. And at the training story that is around the action, especially my team Chelsea, basically Arsenal. I know that it is football. Well, we should not write off some of the games just quickly. We should not in football anything happen. I wish my team all the best this weekend. That's my team.
Thank you very much, Victor, for talking to us. So, UT, check the live feed for us if we have more comments. Israel, by the way, would not host any European game until further notice, and we know why. Of course, there's been back and forth.
Good afternoon, Marizona.
Good afternoon, Joe from Ikpanga.
Thanks so much. Marizona, can you update me with the new ones at Chelsea?
Yeah, that'll be tomorrow, Joe.
Okay, thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Joe.
How is the Belgium playing in this governorship cup?
Ibioni Boom, I will check that out for you. Well, they've been here and there, basically, but we'll check for you.
It's all right.
Thank you so much for talking to us. Right now.
Kelechi Aniga says, "Good afternoon, sports crew. I think Nigeria coach needs to scout for better goalkeepers in order to stand a chance of meeting his target at the AFCON next year."
Thank you. The sports messiah joins the conversation. Better late than never, right?
Why?
Yes, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon. The three gladiators, UT and the IQ himself.
Welcome.
You know, speaking about center forward, you know, there are requirements for center forward. One, you need to be creative. Two, you need to have the skills on your own that embedded in you and create challenges and space. And that will make you to go far in life. You know, talking about Victor Osimhen speaking here down to Premier League, it will take him some time to adapt the system.
Right.
Premier League is much tougher and the quality games ever in Europe. So let him stay there and build up himself, grow stronger. He will not even survive for anything. People will come for him. Come look for him. So let him stay there, great mentor himself, also make some future money. So that when he comes there, he might get a retirement and go back to his house. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you very much. He's go back to his house for me. So tomorrow when we come back, we'll look at the Premier League games for the weekend. By the way, some top transfer stories. Liverpool want to sign Osimhen, and Liverpool also want to sign Leroy Sané, as they envisage Mohamed Salah leaving very, very soon. But Blighter, this will concern you because you like players like this. Al Ettifaq are ready to reduce the number of foreign players in the squad in order to sign Jesse Lingard. The man has been training with the side since a couple of weeks now. The side is managed by Steven Gerrard, and he's not yet signed permanent deal. Well, the Saudi League approves only 8 foreign players to be included in the matchday squad, and Al Ettifaq, who have 10, are looking for ways to move on at least one, just so they can sign this man, Jesse Lingard. Take a bite on that, but let's just squeeze in this call. Hello, good afternoon. All right, that call is gone. Blyden, 25 seconds in that.
I think it's all about Steve Gerrard bringing English players to also have a fair share of the money. That's it.
I'm telling you, I like the fact that he's throwing passes to his men.
I'm telling you, that's it.
Makes a lot of
nothing
sense.
more. It has nothing to do with
I love the story. I like it like that, actually. Right, so that's it for the show. Thank you so much, Blyden.
Yeah. Always a pleasure being on the show.
Thank you, UT, for being a part of the show as well.
Always a pleasure.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you lost your... You chop fufu. Right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for the show. Do hope to enjoy the rest of the day's broadcast. The video talks right now, the news in the hour, and from there, the Planet Rush show. What's happening? Well, a lot, actually. Jada Pinkett, Will Smith. Yeah, we'll talk about that with Vina. Right, so do hope to enjoy the rest of the day's broadcast. Happy birthday to Victor White. Happy birthday to Ima Bongafia. Happy birthday to Annie Fortunate, my friends. Do hope to have a wonderful one. My name is Marizo.